Okay, we're back at the mill today. I've kind of wrote down what I need, and I'm just going to finish up a few things before I go to the hardware store and get the things I need to install power. Basically what I've been working on is this door had become dislodged when I got it. It's a pretty simple fix. I had to remove one of the wheels up on the top and slide it in and put the bolt back in. And I basically just picked the whole door up, set it back in the track. And now I've got a working door. So now I can remove the rigger. The person that sold it to me rigged this up and did a really good job. Basically they have a crossbar going across that actually has the table set stationary where it won't move, and they block the spindle assembly up, and that hasn't moved at all. So I'm getting ready to basically disassemble this. I won't remove the spindle block until I get the machine powered up, but I'm going to go ahead and remove this table lock so that I can get in and out without risk of falling or tripping. It's kind of hard to stand up there with that piece of wood in the way. Okay, we got the machine powered up. I still need to do a little bit more leveling on it, get it stable. I was able to get all the blocks out of the spindle. Power is relatively easy to hook up. Really it's just checking them to see which one of the two legs that I didn't want to use as a high leg, which you can usually tell by what's going to the step up or step down transformer. In this particular machine, it was real easy to spot, and it's labeled really well. And basically I just used an ohm meter before I connected the machine up to see which two of the legs went over to that transformer. And then made sure I didn't connect the high leg to that. On my particular machine, pretty much the first two legs, L1, L2, are the non-generated phases, and the third leg is where you want to put the high leg. And that's pretty typical. Every machine that I've hooked up as three-phase, it's been a CNC mill, has been that way. And now I've hooked up some sewing machines and things like that have had modified wiring or what have you that were not wired that way, so you got to be careful. But anyway, the machine's up and working. I've just been doing basic testing. I still have a lot of cleaning to do. It's still booting. One thing about this particular, I guess the Fanuc controller, I haven't messed with a OM before. It takes a while to boot. I did have a problem initially that I'll go over, and I'll carry the camera back and show you. The first alarm that I got when I booted it up was basically a servo error alarm. I went back and looked and checked connections. I did that probably for about an hour until I finally noticed that there was actually a bad connection. It's the fiber optic cable. I don't know how. It has a retainer clip. I don't know how that would have gotten pulled out, but it did. It fell out, and I'll kind of show you what it looked so that you can find that on your machine if you have issues. I've heard of that issue on multiple machines that have gotten shipped removed. So I don't know if that's just the rocking back and forth motion somehow defeats that clip or what, but it looks like a pretty industrial type clip to me, and I don't see how it could come out, but it did on this machine, and I'll show you where it's at. One of the things I had issues with is I guess the spindle had gotten blocked close to the max Z travel, and I had to do a little bit of finagling to actually get the block out from underneath it, and once I did, everything went fine. With the door fixed, I have power now. I'll probably spend, I won't be able to work on it tomorrow, but I'll probably spend the Memorial Day weekend basically just cleaning up the machine. The big things I want to check is, is the way oil system working? It appears that it is. I know the coolant pump works. I still need to check rotations. I don't know if that's an issue on this machine. I haven't even looked at the coolant pump, but a lot of your non-controller based pumps, like just standard three-phase motors, you can have your phasing incorrect, and the motor could run backwards. So you'll want to check all those. And the two that I know that could be possibly on this machine is I'm fairly certain the oiler is 3-phase, and I'm fairly certain the coolant pump is 3-phase. Like I said, I haven't checked anything on the oiler yet. That's something you want to check on any machine that you get, and after you get the machine, you want to check on it regularly. That's one thing that will destroy a machine fairly quickly is if the oil system fails you. In my experience, I guess the nozzles that are on there, you have to look at those, and a lot of times when you tear the machine down, it's just a good idea just to go ahead and replace them. But generally those will clog up, especially if you know, I've seen all kinds of crazy fluids being run through. In this machine, it recommends number 2 vat for oil, so that's what I'm going to use in it. I'm fairly sure that is what's in the oiler now. While this is booting, I'm going to take the camera back and show you where the fiber optic cable was that came loose. Okay, it's probably not going to have really good audio. This is more of a visual thing than anything. This is inside the controller box, and I need to be careful here because this machine's live and hot. Okay, if we look here, there's a small coiled up wire, and this is actually a fiber optic cable. You want to be real careful about bend radius on this cable. And where it came loose at was here. It actually goes all the way down and around and back up around the corner here. You're not going to be able to see that. Right now I'm not going to be able to stick my fingers in there to show you, but trust me, it's on this side of the board and it plugs in. This side was still connected. This is the one that became disconnected, and the wire ended up kind of being hidden behind this, and that's not a real noticeable thing. But if you look here, there's actually a tab and a connector, and none of that's broke, it all works. But somehow it just kind of got pulled loose. If you've ever wondered what was in one of these machines, kind of here's an idea. This is a transformer and it has multiple taps. Basically you've got your servo drive, and then you've got your main things. This is actually the power supply that powers everything. But basically what it was complaining about is that this cannot talk to this through that cable. Okay, we've got everything booted now. I'm just going to home the machine real quick. And basically the way this machine basically gets a zero reference. They call it a little bit something different. But these LEDs here actually indicate that you're at your zero reference point. So basically all you do to initiate that is you select the axis that you want to do first. You hold the plus, and then you see the table move. And you select another axis, hold plus. Again, everything on this machine appears to work. I've got a little air leak back there in a nylon line that I've got to fix. I took a peek underneath the weight covers. Everything looks okay. It could use a little brush down, which I'll do when I have time to really get nasty. But the weight covers on this particular machine really do a good job about keeping any debris out. Probably the worst place to clean on the machine is probably going to be up on top of the tool changer. Everything else is pretty clean. That area up in there has got some pretty dry and gritty stuff on it that I'll need to clean out. I've got several tools changed. It's going to take me a little bit. I'm not familiar with this OM control. So it'll take me a little while to learn how to use it. But thank goodness I have the manual for the machine. I've already made a backup of all my parameters. One thing on these machines, if you buy one, make sure that you get the parameters, or that you get the manual with the parameters in it. Because if you don't, and the battery disconnects while it's been shipped, you'll lose all the settings. And these are manufacturer settings. Fanuc controls. A lot of the older ones don't have really good battery backup. I think this one has the D batteries, what I put in the rear, and there's like a little panel on the back that you unscrew and you replace the batteries. And when you do that, the machine needs to be powered up and on. I haven't seen it yet, but there's a battery warning on the page here if you need to change them. I think the manual says once a month or something like that. I doubt anybody actually does that. But anyway, successful night. I got the door fixed. We got all the power connected up correctly. Everything pretty much works, including the big halogen light that's on the inside. I'm probably going to wrap it up for the night. Like I say, I've got a long weekend ahead. And I hope to actually get this leveled out and do some test cuts in steel. Probably won't have coolant in it for another couple of weeks. I do need to go and check the tanks and make sure there's no leaks and get all that resolved before I actually purchase coolant and do the mix. I don't really want it leaking all over the floor. Although some will probably leak, but I don't want it to leak when the machine's not running. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed these videos. I, for one, am really glad to get to this point. This is kind of like, the midpoint where you have the machine running. I haven't had a CNC mill in a couple of months. I've been using the Grizzly horizontal vertical, and it's been pretty painful. Some of the stuff wasn't a problem. The Grizzly does just fine, but after having a CNC mill for a while, there's a lot of things that you just can't make or just can't do really easily on a manual mill. Anyway, hope you like the videos, and be sure to leave me comments. If anybody has one of these Excel Kiwa machines, feel free to drop me a line. Right now, looking at it, I'm pretty impressed with it, and everybody that I've talked to that's actually owned one said they were relatively trouble-free. The big thing to keep an eye on is make sure that oil pump is pumping oil everywhere. And that's what I'll get into when I tear off the weight covers completely. We'll see you on the next video.